All right, what's going on, people? JV Wins is here. Dogon SS is here. We are back for another edition of the Conscious Approach video series on YouTube. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who has been subscribing to the channel, interacting with the videos, leaving comments, man, helping us hit that YouTube algorithm. We certainly appreciate it. For anyone who has not done so, if you happen to catch wind of this stream or any other video that we publish to this channel, we do this all the time. So, if you like this kind of, stuff that we kick over here on this channel, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know what you think about the commentary in these videos. We certainly appreciate the support. It's been pretty fun making these videos and seeing how this little grassroots community that we are developing here on the Conscious Approach channel continues to grow with each passing week. And thus far, we have been doing this organically, so it has been an organic experience. I'm not exactly sure how much longer that will be the case, but I will speak for Dogon as well when I say that I'm pretty proud of what we have been able to accomplish thus far.
Right.
So thank you to everybody who has been hitting that subscribe button, man. We love making this content, and we certainly appreciate you for supporting that logical content. So anybody who's not a part of the CA tribe, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man, because we do this each and every week. We are kicking things in a high gear, doing it multiple times a week, man. So we got bigger and better things on the horizon. And we do this better than most people who talk commentary on YouTube. So
Be honest.
yeah. So why not give us our fair shake, And so with that out of the way, man, we got to go ahead and get right into this.
Oh man.
So if you are a follower of this channel, you know how often we speak on certain things like good judgment, women who are sharks, women who are male extractors, how poisonous modern day sex working and OnlyFans and things of that nature are, and how unfortunate it is that so many modern day men get caught up in this web, and it seems to be the perfect cauldron of social inexperience and a lot of money. That seems to be the perfect mixture for what causes men to be victimized by this dynamic to their own dismay. It's their own fault. I am not here to defend any of these beta males. I'm just here to call a spade a spade. And it appears as though Zion Williamson is yet another example of one of these beta males out here. Now, if you are not aware, Zion Williamson recently went public with his current girlfriend, who we only know her by the name Akima. We don't know what her last name is. And we don't know exactly what she does. We just know that she is a, quote, content creator. If you believe any of the official reports from credible news sources, she, at least at some point, worked as a real estate agent. I don't know for how long or how successful it was. And she now carries herself as some sort of influencer type person. She has 38,000 followers on Instagram. She lists herself as a video creator. I don't know what the hell that means. Do you know what that means, sir?
No, I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay.
I guess we're video creators.
Right. I guess I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something. And so yes, he's gotten this woman pregnant. They went public announcing that they are en route to having a child, a baby girl. I think they made a video and put the video out. But what made this situation sticky is allegedly who this woman may be, and then who Zion Williamson appears to be getting down with. After he put out the video with this woman Akima that they were having a child, he then got raked through the coals on social media by adult film actress Mariah Mills, who apparently was caught off guard by this announcement because Zion was just with her maybe a week or so prior, doing all sorts of unspeakable, nasty, disgusting things with her. Apparently, Zion Williamson likes to get down with the sex workers of the world, is what we are learning here. And It's unfortunate to find yet another one of these high profile professional black athletes getting outed as a simp, but he is not the first and will most certainly not be the last. So, for clarity and context purposes, we're going to go ahead and share a couple tabs here so that you can get a relatively good idea of what we're dealing with here with Zion. So, first, um, first we have, I got to find the right tab first. So, bear with me here. Okay. So,
Unbelievable.
first, Zion Williamson announces baby girl on the way. So, yeah,
We're gonna show that, right? We're gonna show his little announcement video.
we're going to show both because there's two parts to it. That's the thing. That's the thing. There's two parts to it. So, this first video, and both of these videos are courtesy to World Star, but this first video is their announcement of the child. And then it also cuts to some of this woman's antics to give you an idea of what this chick is all about. And, spoiler alert, it doesn't have much to do with real estate. So,
Damn.
so I'm gonna go ahead and play this first video, and then we're gonna play a second one, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about this situation.
Yeah.
My baby, you gonna see this at some point. I don't know what the future holds, but mommy and daddy love you. You don't know nothing else in this world. Know that mommy and daddy love you.
I mean, the courthouse went around those
Whoa.
I'm sending the bread right now, my dude.
I thought this was the conscious approach. This looked like the booty approach. What in on earth?
Right. So that was that.
The booty approach. God damn.
Yeah. So that was on some random podcast somewhere. That is Zion Williamson's future daughter's mother busting it wide open, publicly. And then this is the reaction from adult film actress Mariah Mills upon learning that Zion Williamson was about to have a child with this woman. So I'll try to pause each one of these screen captions for a couple seconds to give you a chance to read them all. But this is her reaction to the revelation that they're about to have a kid.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Mommy and daddy love you.
Sheesh. Oh. God damn. Oh man, I missed my soundboard. I supposed to hit my soundboard for this one. Sheesh. Madness. And I gotta be honest with you guys as you guys read through this. This is it's already finished. I'm like, you go ahead, JV, man. I'm astonished by all of this.
So there you go. So that was Mariah Mills. Mariah Mills, for anyone who is unfamiliar with who she is, some of y'all who traverse the deep recesses of the internet know who she is. But she is an adult film actress. I would use the P word, but sometimes that word gets served downward on the YouTube algorithm, and this content is too damn good for us to risk this thing not getting served up. So
I must say that.
That's what you got, man. So Zion, you listen. If you want to debate whether that means he's a simp or not, that's a debate that we can have. I think that it makes it clear that at the very least, he is another one of these professional NBA players, and this seems to always only apply to these NBA and NFL players. Not all of them, but most of them, who just have horrible judgment when it comes to women, just horrible, and women ends up being their ruination. So this dude Zion, number one overall draft pick, you know, had his whole he still has his whole future ahead of him. Obviously, I'm not going to sit up here and try to make it seem as though this is going to hurt his career, although it might. This you couldn't possibly think that this is a good thing here. But what do you make of all this? This is crazy.
Well, it's chaotic, is what it is. And honestly, bro, upon stumbling upon this story, I wasn't shocked that he was dealing with booty stars. I was shocked that the fact that he didn't have like any NDA or any lawyers or any team, no cease and desist, because the girl's still tweeting about stuff. I mean, this has been like 4 or 5 days after, and she's still just mentioning him and going hammer. And by the way, guys, the tweets that we did show, I mean, that was just a very small amount. I mean, she's been writing paragraphs ever since then. So, and that's gone down some dark pathways. Because at first it was like, oh hell no, it's just like something that happened in school. Everybody like, woo, But now it's getting to the point where this woman's psychosis, and I'm talking about this Mills lady, is on full display. And she's displaying exactly why she did the line of work, or does the line of work that she does, because she's out of her mind. And so, but she's after a bag. So some things that she's doing is kind of smart here. Other things are kind of dumb as far as Mills and as far as her getting her bag. But yeah, I was shocked that he got this far down the rabbit hole with workers. The one that he's actually having a baby with, I mean, I didn't even know about that real estate stuff or video maker, but I did know that she did adult dancing.
Yeah,
and that she frequented Boosie's parties and in Louisiana. So, I mean, there's so many angles with this whole thing. I'll just start here with the predatory behavior in which these guys are experiencing. If you like go through this Mills lady's conversations that she was having with Zion, because she also posted conversations that she was having with him prior to the expose and during the expose. Every time she speaks, it's calculated, coordinated, because it's like a work email. If you're sending a email at work, you ain't saying nothing off the rails. You're saying everything in pocket, everything legal. You're not saying nothing out of bounds. That's how she was texting him. This was all business for her. And so, she can claim that she's hurt. The only thing she's hurt is that she lost out on the premier bag of an 18-year whatever. But the part about this that she's losing her patience with, and I'm pretty sure Amber Rose would agree, all right, is that if she just played her cards right, she could have just been baby mama number 2, and she would have had her own 18-year contract. But she's jumping the gun. I don't know what she thought, but by her blowing all this stuff up, her OnlyFans is only going to go crazier. Her searches and all of these things is going to go up. She's going to do speaking engagements, write a book on her thoughting. So she can also parlay this to that extent, but she could have did that if she got pregnant too. But nevertheless, this is an entirely messy situation. I get more into the predatory stuff later, but how do you feel, man? I know I'm disgusted by all of this. How do you stand on this, bro?
Yeah, Mariah Mills. I think it was a Hot New Hip Hop. It was one of the art. It was one of the sources that I frequently check out on a daily basis. Reported that Mariah Mills's Pornhub searches have gone up by like 200% since this happened, which speaks to all of the rest of you degenerates out there uh, who learn about this stuff and then immediately go to these streaming, you know, booty sites to get your rocks off to get your rocks off on these videos. Deion Sanders, uh, when he was still at Jackson State, invited Brittany Renner to come
Right.
speak to his football team. And you know, I pretty much for the most part tend to lean into Brittany Renner um, on most occasions. Now I feel like when she has a point to make, I feel as though I'm a balanced enough person that when she does say stuff that makes sense, I'll come to her defense. But for the most part, I tend to critique her because of the decisions that she's made juxtaposed to the kind of image she's trying to portray presently. You know, don't write a book about smashing rappers and football players and basketball players and then talk about wanting to be a dutiful wife. The two things just don't add up. But Dion invited Brittany Renner to Jackson State to sort of give a speech, Stephen A. Smith style. The way Stephen A. Smith gets invited by these other programs to do like motivational speaking and life coaching and all of that kind of stuff. Dion brought Brittany Renner out to Jackson State to talk to the players about navigating the pitfalls, given your stardom and your money, of dealing with women and how to figure out ways to develop the right types of alert systems in the brain and different processes cognitively to be able to avoid being put in a situation that Zion presently finds himself in. And for all of the shit that I give Brittany Renner, I give her credit for that because she was basically giving these dudes game based upon the game that she has been a part of perfecting and running on other athletes who don't know any better. And I'm at the point now where I just kind of feel like these guys, that needs to be made a permanent curriculum for all future pro athletes in every sport. At least for now, because they're all required to go to college. We'll see what happens with one and done and whether they get rid of that in the NBA and go back to you being able to jump straight into the league out of high school. But for now, if you want to go to the NBA and you're a basketball player, you got to be 1 year removed. And even though some guys go to the G League or go overseas, for the most part, a lot of people go to college at least for the year and then they jump to the league. And then, of course, if you play football, you have to at least be in football for 2 years before you go to the NFL. So my thing is, at this point, I've given up on them learning this stuff on their own, and things like NIL are only going to make it worse. And I've given up on them coming from a household where they're living under a roof where they can be taught by a father figure type person, whether it's a biological father, an older brother, a cousin, an uncle, hell, somebody, I don't give a damn who it is, somebody who can teach these guys how to not allow yourself to get mesmerized by strippers and booty girls. Like, I've given up on them learning how to be able to not get caught up in that. And I kind of feel like it just needs to be made a permanent curriculum when these guys go to these institutions, because they need to learn without having to learn the hard way, because Zion's about to find out the hard way. He's about to get extracted for a significant amount of his income for the foreseeable future, and he has no one to blame but himself. And this is a cultural thing to me. It's more than just pro athletes, because again, I seem to only see this happening to black, and I don't see this happening to these Latino baseball players or these white NFL NBA players or these white baseball players or these European soccer players. I don't see it happening at the alarming rate that I see it happening to these football players and these basketball players who are black. So this is as much a cultural observation as it is an observation on how to make the proper decisions when you come into large lump sums of money and fame and notoriety via professional sports. But there needs to be some kind of rule instituted because I'm tired of seeing these young brothers get dragged like this by these sharks, these professional predatory female sharks who are they're male extractors and they're very good and sophisticated at their craft. See the next topic that we're about to get into. Seriously. And the one thing that I'll say about Zion real quick is, me, like our friend group, we grew up hooping, playing basketball. And one thing that we all came to the realization as we got older on was that you kind of play basketball the way that you live life. So the way that you play basketball, you can sort of extrapolate the style at which you approach playing basketball to how you conduct your own personal life circumstance. The way you live life is how you hoop, and vice versa. And, when I look at Zion, you look at Zion, right? What percentage of the total possible games could Zion have played since he's been a pro? I don't know that number off the top of my head, but it's not a lot. It's not a big percentage. Even if I try to Google that real quick, if I put in percentage of games Zion Williamson has played, I'm pretty sure there's a quick Google search that'll give me this number. He's played in 39.7% of the games that he could have possibly played throughout his career. Now, a lot of people are looking at it and saying he's been hurt, injury. Okay, good. That's fine. He's been hurt. He's been injured. But there's always been this speculation that he might not necessarily be putting in the necessary amount of work that he needs to put in order to get back and be at full strength and be 100%. It's widely reported that there's issues with his diet, his weight. There are questions as to whether he has the work ethic and the perseverance and the mental fortitude to commit to what it takes to getting back to his craft in a reasonable amount of time. He's played less than 40% of his total games. He got drafted like 3 or 4 years ago. Ja Morant is currently winning that battle. Ja Morant went number 2. And there are people who are saying, no, it's a clear decision to make. Zion has to be number 1. And some of them, myself included, were saying, does he have to be? Who's going to be more available? And, Zion, whether it's his foot, knee, whatever the case is, leg injury, he's out. He doesn't play. Misses 60 games here, 70 games here, entire seasons there. He's in pregame warm-ups doing windmill dunks. The whole world can see this. And people are saying, well, why can't he get back on the court and play? What's the deal? Rehab, do what you got to do, eat better, slim down, get to a better weight, do what you have to do. You're a professional. Take your craft seriously. And I think that there is a correlation between these questions and Zion's decision-making. And you can see that on full display with situations like this. A stripper and a porn star. He did the double whammy. It doesn't get much worse than that. It doesn't. And look at what Mariah Mills is saying. She's accepting this. She's accepting the decision that he made. She called the baby mama a sister wife to her. So she ain't going nowhere, bro. She's not going anywhere. So you dug yourself a hole, Zion. You look like a simp. You look like a beta. And betas and simps tend to get extracted for resources from women. It is what it is. This is the world we live in. Y'all can debate the merit of the word simp. I don't give a damn. The man is a simp, and he's a beta, period. Period. He's certainly not an alpha. And he's about to start looking more and more emasculated and effeminate as this 18-year-long arduous journey begins. Because I highly doubt he's going to stay with this woman whom he is having this child with. And he has no one to blame but himself. And I agree with you. I don't know what happened to the NDAs, the teams, attorneys, people who are at your side to help you sidestep this type of pitfall. It just looks like this guy screwed the pooch on this from the get-go.
Yeah.
And he has no one to blame for him. So I don't feel sorry for him. I don't sympathize with him in any regard. This is your fault, Zion. So you took a shit. in your bed, and now you have to lie in that shit, bro. And all I can say is let this serve as a cautionary tale to the rest of y'all dudes out here running around trying to holler at these weirdo ladies of the evening. I keep trying to tell you there are women who look just as good as these chicks who don't conduct themselves this way. But you're trying to take the easy way out by doing the Instagram OnlyFans weirdo shit that gets you nothing but pain and suffering because you have no social skills. So I don't know where the rubber meets the road, but this is all Zion's fault, and it's sad, but also predictable.
Yeah, I mean, and you should like the messages that she sent, man. She even sent the damn what you call that invoice thing from the wire transfers. This guy was sending 20 racks at a time, 20 racks, 25 racks. She was, and I think all of that was all in 1 month. And so she was basically saying that, hey, bro, you giving me $100K a month. I stopped doing certain things lifestyle wise, because of you. And I've been living off of it. Yeah. So she's playing the lifestyle thing. So she might even try to take that to court, in that capacity if she tries. So, but as you said, bro, this is a cautionary tale to, of course, athletes, but the average everyday man that, they're not going to talk to actual born stars or booty models, but they might deal with the derivative of it, the girl that thinks she's a born star and thinks she's a model on online influencing. And if there's any influencers watching this, please describe to me just exactly what it is you're influencing, but I'm just teasing. But yeah, so that whole thing where somebody's dealing with that, a girl who can't stay up out her phone like that because she needs all of those likes and all those whatevers. She lives the same kind of fast lifestyle, and if a female sees you as a come up, you just have to be cautious of that too. Somebody that's looking for a check. I mentioned this before, man. Everybody pretty much lets you know what their intention is from the jump. It's on you to keep signing up for this. What's the whole saying? A vampire can't force his way into your home. You have to let him in. Mm-hmm. And so these people really can't bully or force their way in. Although I'm going to talk about that a little bit here with Zion. They can't force, you still have to allow them in though. So for Zion in this situation here where these girls, that's why I was saying they were being predatory, they're bullying him. And you can see it written all over his face where, okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted some ass. Okay. And it's like, Zion, bro, where's your mentors? Where's anybody? And so, but he just goes along with it. His shirt, the back of his shirt says, I'm just here so I don't get yelled at. That's what the back of his shirt said when he took that picture. But that was true because she wanted that. She wanted the baby reveal. She wanted it on social media. She wanted to take the picture so she can be some housewife on TV later. She played the whole thing. And his dumb ass just trying to get a nut. And so the whole time she's just playing. Everybody that's her age and older who already ran through her in Louisiana or throughout the country was, looked at her like, girl, you ain't nothing. You what everybody run through. But when Zion goes to these parties, he's young. And this is from grown booty. So he's looking at it through that narrow lens. She knows that. And then she puts that on display all day long, constantly walking around the house as he wants it. And then she's booty, always on display. And so his dumb ass is just going, okay, whatever. Then he deals with an actual born star. And she's out there. She does everything. Hey, what you into, bruh? I saw one of his messages talking about some, hey, any thick white girls? You can bring through. And I was like, damn, my boy Zion trying to live the life, you know. But he looked like he plays Fortnite, Call of Duty, and 2K, getting stoned, drinking sodas, you know, eating whatever. He looks like that.
Yeah.
And then instead of masturbating, he's got a porn star to do it for him. But he's living like every other 18, 19, 20-year-old that's out right now. And it's like, bro, you're Zion Williamson. So he's like, oh, look, I don't have to go to any hub sites anymore. I can just go get her. So that's what his mindset is. And so as you mentioned, bro, with the young people growing up, these young people are lacking social awareness big time. And they're misconstruing their sexual maturity just because they know about sex and they know about this and they know about what grown-ups do. Boy, you don't know the levels to this. And you got in the water with some level 10, whatever sharks.
Yeah.
And he's just in there like, oh, okay, I'm just in here, treading water. Boy, you look like a seal. Yeah. And they're like, hey man, they whap. And then bam, they got his ass. So, and then there's other women that are coming out of the woodwork on him, just trying to get their clout up. So yeah, this is the jaw situation, and this one should be case studies for these young guys that are coming up nowadays of how not to fumble the bag now. Because I'm pretty sure those old heads was telling them about, hey man, they used to pull up when we was at the bus at the Hyatt. And it's like, man, these girls got social medias. These guys got accounts. You guys were living in the days when people was breaking news was on a newspaper. So y'all don't get what these new guys are going through right now. Y'all didn't grow up watching this foolishness like they did.
It's a whole different game.
Yeah, now they can actually go pay for her. So it's like, oh, and then I'm pretty sure when they get on, they like, I'm gonna get a chain, I'm gonna get it this, I'm gonna get it this, and I'm already gonna be paying for ass anyway, but I'm gonna pay for the best ass. You see what I'm saying? And this is the popular ass. And that's where their mindset is. So yeah, Zion, to me, he's growing up like every other kid nowadays, real doughy, real whatever. This guy just so happened to hoop. And it's the same thing with the Ben Simmons thing, like we talked about before. And it was like, hey man, you know what? I don't think he really cares or likes basketball at this point. And yeah, he fooled everybody because, well, he's 6'10" and he can hoop. So the same thing with Zion, man. You look at his career numbers, his trajectory is out of here. But he doesn't have any get up and go get him nothing. But again, that comes with years and years of this new way of microwave satisfaction. And hey man, I don't, to me, he's a grown ass kid. And he got got by some vulturous sharks. So yeah, man, very sad situation, man. But you can't tell these. I mean, I'm pretty sure now. So like I said, these guys should be the examples and the poster boys for these new dudes coming up who, oh snap. It's like, yeah, no, leave them alone.
Yeah, bro. It's a whole different game. You cannot compare what used to happen back in the day with what happens now, because if something used to get reported in newspapers or magazines or anything like this, there was never a paper trail or receipts. So it was just a he said, she said. I can just rebuke this until it goes away, because without proof, no one knows anything. These women, they can. You can do anything with these phones. These chicks can screen caption everything. They don't care. They don't have integrity. So they'll put you on blast publicly. They can show what you've been doing. Everybody uses Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, all of these things with these electronic proof of purchases and receipts that you can just download a PDF for, text it to anybody you want, put it on whatever platform you want, save it, download it as an attachment. You cannot escape this if your decision making with regard to these types of situations isn't on the up and up. There's no escaping it. So there's no comparison to the way that it used to be. And the last thing that I'll say is women like this, and it's important for men in particular to understand this. Even if let's remove people like Zion Williamson from the equation because he's in that 1%. You know, Kevin Samuels used to talk about this where athletes and entertainers don't really count in terms of being high value because they come into money at a place that is opposite the rest of the population and how men come into money. Most men come into the most money that they'll ever see around the time that they turn like 45 or 50. So in terms of finances and resources, most men peak around 45, 50 years old. In terms of looks, women can maximize at 18, 19 years old, 20. I see it every day. I go to the gym. There's girls in high school who go to the gym 5 days a week. Like, this is no game. They're dealing with dudes who are 45, 50 years old. So they're learning the ropes from much older men, and they're taking that same game and they're using it on guys who don't know no better, like Zion, dudes who are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. Like these women can run game that they've learned from guys who are twice their age, and then just take that same thing back to dudes like you just talked about, who sit around drinking Fanta, playing Fortnite all day. Call of Duty and all of this weird stuff, smoking from a bong, or whatever these people do nowadays, taking edibles.
Vaping.
You know, so like it's there is a seesaw effect to women's skill set when it comes to this sex game and men's skill set when relative to their respective ages. And what most men don't learn until they hit 45 years old, 50 years old, women are learning in their early 20s. Some of them even sooner than that, 18, 19. So, you know, it's important that we kind of speak on this type of stuff because the awareness needs to happen. Because there is a trickle down effect. I agree with that as well. And you know what we're starting to see, man, is there's all of these, you know, I call them round-the-way girls. You know, I often describe it as women who live in your apartment complex, or they might stay in your neighborhood. But look at how she looks. She might have 3,000, 4,000, she might have 10, 15,000 followers on Instagram. You don't know what kind of dude she's interfacing with on a daily basis. Yeah, y'all might be in the same peer group age-wise, but you know how this game goes. If she looks good enough, if she spends enough time working this internet stuff, you don't know what she's getting into. And so you come in there with your rose-colored, you know, lack of experience. She's gonna take you to the cleaners. You know, if these chicks can take multi-millionaire athletes to the cleaners, they damn sure could take your salary ass to the cleaners.
Exactly.
So, you know, you have to be aware of your environment and your surroundings. And like you say, when these women tell you who they are, believe them. If they're popping ass on the internet, treat them like women who pop ass on the internet.
Come on, man.
Treat them like women who pop ass on the internet. Don't impregnate them. You know, and don't put yourself in a position where they can bring receipts to the party because you look like the fool at the end of the day. Zion looks like a fool.
Yeah,
Period.
and the receipts part, I'm gonna touch on that too. But I'll say this, and I'll put this as a cautionary tale for every man. And so this part is a part that men need to talk about more. And it's having control over your sexual energy. And now being attracted to what you're attracted to, man, you can be attracted and you can still find women attractive and all that good stuff. But you gotta reel it in. And because even when you get into a close quarter situation with a woman, as Zion did, now see, he's supposed to treat this as a pass and go, you know. He's you know, give and go, you know, he's sitting there still in bed with this woman, which was a very big no-no with both of them, honestly. So he was messing up, and that's how he messed around to get him pregnant. But he was messing around the wrong way with that. But even if you're in a close quarter situation and you're dealing with a manipulator, she's gonna use the box in order to control you. Now, if I'm saying something that's not foreign to you guys already know this. So this is the part that's essential, is that you have to basically wipe out, or like it's a fine line. It's like a Jedi mind trick you got to play with yourself, where you basically devalue it. So stripper girl can be doing her stripper moves, but you can, if you're looking at it as a way, well, damn, that ass is fat and it's going crazy. But then the other part is, that's game. The only reason why she's doing that is so I can ejaculate.
Yeah.
So there has to be a balance of whenever you're witnessing what you're witnessing. Now, it don't have to be a stripper girl. So this can be your everyday whatever. And so she's real scantily clad now. You know, she in the house for you, or she's withholding sex from you. So now you gotta show more attention. So just watch the interactions that you have with manipulators who use their sexuality as the manipulation tool. Every Mariah Mills image you will ever see, you know, she's doing this. She has her eyes in a fixated way, and that's the eyes of a sex worker. That's the eyes of a manipulator, a sexual manipulator, and they all have a look. That girl has a look. The baby mama got a look. The Mills girl has a look. And Zion is confusing that with sexiness. He needs to see that as manipulators or, finessers, because that's what those eyes really are. Those eyes are telling you, I know you like what you see. Now do what I say. And that's the mess he got himself in. And as far as the receipts thing, as I said, this Mills girl, she was leaving work emails, real, close to the vest, not giving up nothing, making him say everything. So whenever you're online, or in texting a girl, you got to talk lawyer talk. I talk, whenever I'm talking to people that's not my girlfriend, that's a female, in the day of Me Too's, oh man, I'm talking like HR can get involved. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like HR can get involved, because I ain't saying nothing that nobody can say that, and it's like, man, what? Man, I was just shooting a shot. I was just trying to get me something. Like, no. He harassed me.
It'll cost you.
Yeah. So in this day and age, you got to be mindful even when it comes to that. So I'm real mindful of how I'm sending emails, text messages, emails, any damn thing. DMs.
Yeah.
So
all of it.
And one more thing, there's this thing out there that went viral with this Home Depot girl. I call cap on that. That girl did not work at Home Depot. She's an influencer who took a Home Depot picture.
I know what you're talking about, and I don't think she works there either. Yeah,
but nevertheless, it went viral. That's what you influencers doing, huh? But it went viral, and here comes Shaq out there DMing her because he liked what he saw. He ain't do nothing crazy, but he got a little, you know what I'm saying? Hey, holla at me, kind of thing. But enough so where this girl goes, somehow it gets out there. So he played it safe, even though he was seen with Brittany Renner. I'm going off topic, but he played it safe there. But the whole point is, you got to be mindful, because you're a screenshot away from clout. So Zion, hey man, everybody in their interpersonal life, whatever. Again, man, just look at this as a cautionary tale, man. Devalue that vagina. Do not put it on a pedestal, because when you put it on a pedestal, you're paying for shit that you don't have to pay for. Trust and believe, bro. Somebody is getting that for free, and you sitting there wiring her 20 racks every 2 weeks. Boy, you out of your mind. So this is a prime example of what happens when you give a simp hundreds of millions of dollars. Yes. They go and do this.
Yes.
So yeah, man. Bad story, man. But hey, man, we got to learn from it, and I'm sure, hopefully, he's learning from it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm losing faith in that more and more. But yeah, I just think that he's a sucker. And yeah, if we want to be optimistic, then perhaps this will teach him how to not be a sucker in the future. But typically, tigers don't lose stripes. This guy just might have sucker built into his DNA. And it gives me no pleasure in saying that, but this is as disgusting as it gets, honestly.
Man, at least
And,
18 years, bro. At
yeah,
least 18 years.
it's ridiculous. It really is. Like I don't know. I don't understand what the fascination with this dude and with these dudes and these sex workers and these strip, like, just get off of it. But good luck, Zion, bro. You know, you in for it. You in for it, man. And
You're
you
not
have no
supposed
one
to
to blame
lay
but
up
yourself,
with
bro.
them,
You know,
bro. They're
good,
workers.
good luck with that. Yeah, yeah, like she's performing a duty, and you're like, you know, on vacation with a person who's at work. Like
Exactly.
it just doesn't compute, man. But
Oh my
whatever.
goodness.
All right, Zion, man, it is what it is. But it's a sad situation. Good luck, brother.
Get well soon, sir. Get well soon. That boy's sick.
Sick, bad, big bad sick. Okay, now next up, we're going to talk about an interesting interview, and this is funny because it correlates to the topic that we just talked about with Zion. But this woman that you see here is an OnlyFans superstar. Her name is Elle Brooks, and she was on an interview with Piers Morgan.
That's right.
And she basically ethered Piers Morgan on his own show. And we are going to show you exactly what we are talking about. So this woman was on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan was kind of, you know, asking her about her life choices and, you know, why it is that she chose to give up a promising career. She was studying to become a lawyer, and she gave it up to be a sex worker on OnlyFans. And, you know, Piers Morgan is an older gentleman from a previous generation, and so he's trying to understand why you would do this. And her response was pretty appropriate, I would say. So this article is from Hot New Hip Hop. It says OnlyFans star Elle Brooke ruthlessly dunks on Piers Morgan. Elle Brooke is one of the biggest success stories on OnlyFans. The 25-year-old was originally a law student at the University of Southampton before dropping out to pursue content creation full time. I really wish these people would stop being called, okay, they're content creators, but that's a very sugar-coated way of putting what they do. But I digress. While OnlyFans doesn't show creator subscriber numbers, Brooke is reportedly in top 0.001% of users on the site.
Damn.
Per her site's description, she offers, quote, boy, girl, girl, threesomes, anal, huge squirts, role play, and fantasy.
Damn.
End quote. Furthermore, Brooke has nearly 1 million followers on Twitter. So needless to say, she's a blue check mark. Brooke appeared on Piers Morgan's Talk TV show on June 9th. Morgan, a veteran conservative journalist, has long been a purity culture warrior. It's an amusing position for Morgan to hold, given that he oversaw a culture of phone hacking while editor of the Daily Mirror. Regardless, Morgan was totally unprepared for the verbal evisceration he received from the OnlyFans star. So here is a caption of this of a piece of this interview from Neighborhood Talk on Instagram. So I'll go ahead and play this. This is the part of their interview that's getting the most spins, you know, in the content creator space.
I'm just curious about you being someone who embarked on a law career, was obviously very bright, went to university, packed it in just for money to be effectively an online stripper. I mean, that's what you do, right?
Yeah, way worse than an online stripper. But
what do you mean way worse?
Way worse. Online strippers just, you know, naked. I do things that are way more grotesque than
Just
that.
pornography,
anything, but it's all within what I want to do, and I absolutely love it, and I'm really good at it. You know, I could be a good lawyer, yes, but also am I good at doing other things on video and camera?
How would you feel when you want to have kids yourself?
Well, I mean, I don't really want kids right now. But
You will do. How old are you?
25.
Right, so you will do at some stage, probably, right?
Maybe.
When you do, you're going to be proud that you have your little ones and they look at you and go, didn't you want to be a lawyer, Mummy? What happened?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, but look at all my stuff.
They can cry in a Ferrari.
Hysterical.
Oh yeah, so that last part was the part that has everybody saying that she flamed them. They can cry in a Ferrari. And she's right, because in all likelihood, she earns enough money to be able to put her kids in a Ferrari, which I think is the point of this conversation. So this is where we have gotten to with this OnlyFans situation. Obviously, I'd never heard of this chick before I caught wind of this story, but nevertheless, it's appropriate. So, what did you think about what she had to say there?
I don't know about flaming them or ethering.
That's the way it's being reported. That the response was like an ethering.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, she's right. I mean, they can't cry in a Ferrari, and they will be crying in a Ferrari. So that's cool, man. The thing is, with people, the OnlyFans community and the, I guess, modern moralism, if you want to call that a thing, this is a moral issue kind of a thing. So if you're not a person that has morals, you see what she's doing as nothing wrong. So she can provide, if she doesn't want kids now, but she can damn sure provide for them for having sex. And she says she's having sex. She's basically doing what she wants to on there. So I'm assuming she's having sex with people she wants to have sex with, the way she wants to have sex. She's just getting paid to do it. You know, so the moral aspect of it comes in with the social shame. And should people actually care about the social shaming if all their needs and wants are met financially? So that's the trade-off. So somebody can look at this and going, yeah, slay it, girl, sluts forever. And then and then there's some people out there, that's more or less where I'm at, where the moral area is a psychological thing, not a social thing. And morally and psychologically, when you're doing stuff like this, it damages you as a person. And if you're damaged as a person, you're going to damage your children. And so I don't make the rules, man. I just follow them. Psychologically, it's better to not be having so many sexual partners, period. She does it for a living, so it's doing its damage. Then she has her offspring. She tries to raise her kids. It might be hell to pay with trying to raise them because of all the damage stuff that she has going on. So I look at morality in a way where it gets on you and then you live it out some other kind of way. So she can look at this and go, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm getting all these paychecks. My life is great. And if I have kids, so be it. Their life will be great too financially. But she's not taking into account the damage that she's doing. That was a damaged answer if you ask me. So how about you, sir? I mean, I've got more to say, but do you believe that this was an ethering of Mr. Morgan? Or do you think that it's a little overblown, that this is a more nuanced conversation?
I kind of think it was an ethering, but I don't think that necessarily means it's a good thing either. So, like, sex work is one of the oldest professions known to man. This is nothing new. This stuff has been around for millions of years, for however long as civilized human populations have been on this rock. Sex work has been a thing. It's one of the oldest, if not the oldest profession known to man, is what a lot of people like to say. So this is nothing new. But I think that you touched on something very key, and that's the moral angle. Before the internet changed the way before the internet changed human civilization, because it fundamentally changed people, and we did live in a more binary, existence where it's either this or this and few space for in between. There was adequate room for there to be the perception of sex work as immoral. And so it was approached immorally. Anyone who wanted to indulge in that kind of stuff, whether you were a man or a woman, because there's always been all of that kind of stuff going on too, there was an understanding that this is an indulgence, but it's nevertheless an immoral thing that is not necessarily a part of how I think of or view myself in the grand scheme of everything that I'm trying to contribute while I'm alive.
Mhm.
But what has happened in modern history, especially since the advent of the internet and all of these tools that allow us to do this direct, communication, is it has blurred the lines of morality, and it's created this situation in which there's now ambiguity when it comes to morality. We don't even know what it is. And in lieu of that ambiguity, we're creating a space in which sex work is being sort of remade into something that can be perceived as moral. And that's what's causing the confusion. So, like, now what's going on with this OnlyFans stuff, and the reason why it's proliferated to such a huge degree, in my opinion, is because you have people now who engage with it and who indulge in it, who don't necessarily want to put it in the corner and leave it there where it belongs. They want to say, oh, okay, well, I do this because it's just as moral as not doing it. Because what is moral? We want to redefine it. Very similar to the way that we want to redefine gender and, male, female, and sex and all. We literally want to strip everything down and redefine it. And we want to give it a brand new definition.
Mhm.
So the part about this that messes with my head is because there's this moral ambiguity, and because in lieu of this ambiguity, there's a contingent of our society and our population that is saying OnlyFans is not only not something that needs to be kept over here in the recesses or in a corner, but needs to be sort of propagated and celebrated as this bastion of entrepreneurial spirit. Business. These women are business owners and entrepreneurs, and they're doing important things, in the world. And it's no, they're not. They're sex workers. But sex worker is now being glorified. Very similar to the way that like shooting and killing was glorified in hip hop music for so long, and to certain respects continues to be. And it took forever for some people to wake up and say, maybe there's a different way to go about doing this. I feel like now we're in sort of a renaissance period with sex work. And that's why things like OnlyFans persist, and why you have so many women like her who are able to afford to put their children in a Ferrari. Now, is she at the point literally where she can afford to do that? I don't know. But I'm guessing that if she's in the top 0.001% of OnlyFans subscribers, she probably makes a fair amount of money. I've seen some of these receipts on the internet. Some of these chicks make $10,000 a month to do far less than what she claims to do. So they out here getting bread. And the part about it that rubs me the wrong way the most is they're not contributing anything meaningful. She was doing that when she was trying to go into law and realize that she can take advantage of these simp beta males who are willing to pay her to smash on camera. So it's the market for things like OnlyFans that bother me more than anything, not the existence of it. Because as I said, the existence of it ain't new. It's been around forever. If you want to believe it's the oldest profession known to man, whether it's the oldest or near the oldest, it's been around for a hell of a long time. But this way that we're redefining what it is to do it is what's creating some problems, because it's factoring into the overall equation of men growing up devoid of social skills, devoid of those radar detection systems that enable them to make good decisions when it comes to women. It all factors into it because it feeds upon itself. The more that this thing is proliferated, the more you have more guys like Zion Williamson out here getting chicks like this pregnant. Chicks like this were made for guys like Zion. And because there are more and more guys like Zion, there's more and more women like this who are able to come up like this.
Exactly.
Now, if you want to think that that's a good thing, because a lot of people are listening to what I'm saying, bruh, why you tripping? They getting money. Okay, that's your beta mentality. That's your beta mentality. I'm looking at this from a real world top-down perspective, and I'm trying to project what the long-term effects and ramifications of this kind of stuff is or
Right.
are. That's how I'm looking at this. And some people don't look at it that way. They look at it in the moment, microwave society, and they say she getting a bag. And of course, all the women that are looking at it saying she getting a bag. But I'm saying it's creating issues, relationship issues, societal issues, economic issues. I'm looking at everything, all of it. And I'm saying that this ain't where it's at. But then again, if I'm being honest about the way the world is, it kind of is where it's at, because this is what you get. See, I'm fortunate enough because of the era in which I was born. I thank God every day I was born when I was born. Because if I was born 5, 6, 7 years later, I'd be in a world of hurt. Because my perception and my perception of women and my belief in what relationships and sex and my approach and communication with women, how to treat women, how to meet women, how to talk and communicate women. My worldview on these various concepts would have came from what the internet taught me, and would have came from what I can get from OnlyFans and Pornhub and Instagram and Snapchat. And that's the world that a lot of these dudes are. That's Zion's world. That's Zion's reality. And because that's his reality, and he grew up tunnel vision, Tiger Woods, he's now on the hook with a porn star and a stripper. And we just talked about it in the previous topic with all of those receipts, 20 racks a month, I'll be damned. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of feel like she did ether him, because she's basically telling this dude, you can hit me with all of your moral hijinks all you want to. I'm putting my jits in a Ferrari, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Because as long as there's these simp, beta, effeminate, sorry dudes out here who are willing to pay me to be in the top 0.001% of OnlyFans, I'm going to be out here eating and making more money than you'll make hosting this weirdo TV show on YouTube. So what you got to say about that? And hey, man, I'm just reporting the news here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't come at me. All you ladies out there who feel like this chick is an example of a positive step in the right direction, come to me when you're out here looking for a mate. Whenever that happens, and you actually have to interface with these dudes who are spending hundreds of dollars a month on OnlyFans. Tell me how you feel about it then. So I feel like she did ether, and to be real with you, the more that I kind of talk about how I feel about this situation, now ether, it's a relative term. So when I say ether, I'm being sarcastic and I'm being sort of ambivalent when it comes to how I look at the situation. But therein lies the problem. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, she has a point. And hey, man, if you're of my ilk and you want to see some of this stuff dialed back and curtailed, some of y'all need to put it. I don't know how many times we got to say this, but y'all need to put these things down. Put your laptops away. Put the tablets down. Put the OnlyFans down. Take that money that you spend on this chick to see her bust down, and go out and get you a woman who's going to bust down for you in person. As you said in the previous topic with Zion, he's paying 20 racks a day or a month to chicks who she's giving that same thing to other guys for free. She just so happened to find you, the chump who's willing to pay for it. And the problem is there's more and more chumps. Like, the veracity of chumps out here is just far exceeding, the veracity of men who are on their square. And men create the marketplace. So as long as there are men who create the marketplace, there will always be women like Elle, Brooke, who can put her kids in a Ferrari. So if you don't like this, change the marketplace. Dial it back. Now, whether it happens or not, who knows? But that really is the only solution.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, and I look at it like reps. Like for men, you you have to have like certain amount of reps in the game, a certain amount of reps uh participating in trying to be social in order to have enough game once you hit professional levels. And once, if you don't work on your left hand layup, if you don't work on your legs, period, here comes injuries. You're not gonna be in the best position to win at an elite level. And so people, these men are losing reps socially, period. So when schools started taking certain things out, hey, no more of this, less physical activities, those are reps gone. Those guys aren't getting that. Then when you introduce video games, which is nothing wrong when played in moderation, but people don't know how to do that, and they're not told to do that, and they make these games like crack nowadays, so they can't turn it off. So when they got that, they're losing reps. Then once social media became a thing, and you don't have to really deal with rejection. That's why people lose it so much nowadays, and everybody is so quick to get triggered because no one likes to be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you have to learn to deal with, because not everybody's always going to say yeah to you. But the world now is super sensitive because the world told you no. Nope, you can't go in that bathroom. Can't go over there. You can't. Now everybody's pissed off. But reps are being lost socially. So through social media and all this DMing and sliding into DMs, that's so weak to me, bro.
So
That's so weak to me. Now, if a girl go on my DM, it's all love. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna be DM slider. You know what I'm saying? Now, but be that as it may, that's where we're at. Dating apps or whatever. Not that people are winning on dating. The men aren't winning on dating apps, unless you're, six figures, all that stuff. So dudes is losing reps everywhere in every statistical category for them to be man. And if you don't work on being man, you ain't gonna wake up with that. Those are reps. You got to slowly grind your way to that mentality. And dudes like Zion aren't getting it, as you mentioned. And due to the lack of reps, they get in there, especially him. He got thrown professional money. And so due to the lack of reps, he got so exposed. But we mentioned that this is the mentality of all of these dudes. Now, see, Zion got $200 million, so he can get his trick $20,000 a pop. You, on the other hand, not you, but people on the streets as OnlyFans subscribers, you make your you make your whatever thousands of dollars per year, so you don't look at $20 as tricking off. But if you had Zion money, you would be buying OnlyFans chicks for real, like Zion could afford it. He's no different. So there's a lot of dudes out here that's quick to call Zion simping, but got multiple OnlyFans accounts.
Yes,
Sir,
absolutely.
Sir, you must look in the mirror and then ask yourself, am I the simp too? Yes, you are. You're equally as much as a simp as Zion is. Zion just got the bag to do it. And that's why that's why I tell people, you can do things in the small to know how you're going to do things when things get really big. And I've handled stuff really bad in the small before. And I said, thank God I ain't got, whatever popping for myself, because I was wide open when I did that. And so for Zion, he don't have that safety net no more. Everybody going to know his business. Other people at home where your business, nobody care about your business, probably got equally as messy stuff that Zion got going on, because everybody out here is thirsting after BBL chicks, OnlyFans girls. Where are they getting all this money from? These dudes live amongst us, bro. They dap us up in the court.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they dap us up at the court. They live among us. Oh no, man, not me. Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me check your statements, bro. You know what I'm saying? Act like the time. Hey man, I had to make those uncomfortable calls back in the day, man, when my credit card was linked to some website. I had to make that phone call. And you know, them people on the line, they know goddamn well while I'm calling. And goddamn well while I was watching. Yeah, I want to sit there and go, and what account is it again that you're come on, bro. You know what I'm calling it to cancel. So, hey, bro, I've been there too, man. But you know, I like I mentioned before, man. I just realized how much that stuff was taken away from my reps. Because when I went into the field, bro, it showed. So I said no. So reps over at-home entertainment, if you know what I'm getting at. And so you just got to go out there and get it. These young dudes, that's what I'm saying. They came, like you said, bro. We was in a good little pocket. You know, we got DVDs, VCRs. You know what I'm saying?
Table boxes.
You know what I'm saying? Goddamn Sega, regular Sega, all the way to we've seen every damn thing. We saw transitioning. So our cohort has a unique ability to translate things to this young group here and to the older group because we saw all of it. And so I'm pretty sure these young kids now are going to be able to see, but this is our window to give back to the younger group of people or whoever, because this dude's our age and older that's on OnlyFans. But it's still like a thing where, hey, dudes, a call to action. Yeah. Put the lotion down.
Yeah, for real. Definitely, man. And you're 100% right. They are among us. And I don't think I ever mentioned this on the channel, but I know I told you about it off camera, I think. But a friend of mine, she's a teller at a Bank of America, I think.
Yeah.
And she told me, now this girl, this is her full-time job. They used to manage it, but then they would have her run and teller. But she used to run teller a lot at Bank of America. And she told me how often it would happen when it was always men would call in to talk about fraudulent transactions on their account. And then she would look up the account and it would be all of these OnlyFans charges. And, she basically realized that these guys were calling trying to holla fraud when damn well you was making all of these charges.
Right.
But you got in over your head, one too many subscriptions, they debited the money out, and now you want your money back because you're broke.
Right.
So you want to call the bank talking about fraud. No, the bank, no damn fraud. You charge all of that. And she used to tell me every other day, she used to get hit with this dude calling the bank, trying to get some kind of money back. All of these charges that they was making to OnlyFans or this site or that site, paying for it. And that's just one person I know who does this for a living. So you can extrapolate that to the rest of the population in terms of how prevalent this crap is. They're definitely among us. They are. And it's increasing in a rate that is alarming to me. And it's horrible because you're creating this lane. You're creating this lane which allows individuals like this woman here who contribute nothing to society to become rich, at some point perhaps wealthy, if her mind can take the strain of what she's doing long enough to do it into perpetuity to become that financially free. But at the very least, she's able to do enough to put her kids in a Ferrari, as she puts it.
Or worse, she's an influencer.
Well, yeah, or that. And so it's like there should be something. And, forget women, whatever with y'all, because a lot of y'all come together and cape for one another in ridiculous ways that I don't understand. So y'all can just go whatever with this. But to y'all men out there, there should be something in you that intrinsically feels wrong about the fact that this is a thing. And if you are a guy who contributes to this by paying for it yourself, subscribing to OnlyFans, there needs to be something in you intrinsically that eats away at your soul that tells you, there's a voice that's saying this ain't all the way right. Even if you're spending the money on it, there's something that's not right about this. You ain't even getting it. You're just paying to watch her.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy. It's absolute madness. And the last thing that I'll say, I was listening to Rude Jude on Shade 45 one day, the All Out show, and he had one of these cam girls on his show because they put a lot of born chicks and OnlyFans chicks and cam chicks on that show because that's the kind of audience, that's the lane they talk about a lot of that stuff. And so one of these cam bras, I've never heard of this chick. Don't even know who she is, but apparently she's huge, got millions of followers on Instagram. She's huge on OnlyFans. Da 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 da. And Rude Jude was talking to her about how much money she makes and how successful she is. And even Rude Jude, a self-proclaimed porn consumer himself, okay, was talking about how much he thinks it sucks that chicks like her get to make as much money that she makes because all she's doing is profiting off of a large society of male losers. And to her credit, she admitted, yeah, I make money off of a bunch of guys who are losers. So, you know, if some of y'all guys are watching this video, if you're one of those losers, maybe this can be a shock to your system. Figure out what ways and steps to put this stuff down so that you can, you know, advance yourself to no longer being a loser. And to the rest of y'all out there who are contributing to this madness, you're part of the problem and you're one of the losers. So unplug from this shit and get out of the matrix. Because women like this shouldn't be able to be running around driving Ferraris just because she busts down on the internet. Right. But you know, that's where we are. That's the world we live in. It ain't about sex work per se. It's about the proliferation of the marketplace. So don't get me wrong, because otherwise I'd be on this channel every week complaining about prostitutes and escorts and everything else under the sun, women who work in brothels and all of that kind of stuff. Sex working has been around for ages, so I'm not on that. I'm talking about the proliferation of the marketplace and how it has infiltrated so deeply all y'all out here running around out here paying for this stuff on the internet. So, you know, it is what it is, but the buck has to stop at some point. Not sure when it will or in what form that's going to take, but that's where we are, man. You know, it's frightening, at least to me. So,
and I'll say this is my last thing, and money don't move me like that. So somebody, when their default answer is, or they get in the bag, that's, you didn't tell me nothing. And as we see with Zion Williamson, all right, he's got a really big bag, and look at what he just did. So bags don't mean you've got things figured out. So somebody can say that, oh yeah, she's getting her bag, or hey man, I can pay for all these OnlyFans accounts because I got a bag. Hey man, one thing about, you know, your life force is more important than a bag. And when that girl is on camera soullessly talking to 500 plus men in the chat, she can't be talking to you.
She's not.
And then when you sending money, you just a floating avatar. Oh, hey, Big D69. Thanks. Love you. And
straight patronization. That's all it is.
Big D69 at the house, didn't take a bath in 3 days. Yeah. You know, checking his bank statements to see if he can fork over $5 more. Now, he's probably got it to spend it on it. But what just happened? And this ties in what I was mentioning about devaluing sex like that. Boy, you got to bring that stuff down. Because if you do not put vagina on a pedestal, it is impossible for you to give a woman who's doing nothing for you money for sexual stuff. You can donate money to worthy causes. You can do stuff like that. This woman's selling you sex online, which is impossible, literally. And you pay for it. That has to be the biggest mental gymnastics ever. It's bad enough to have the account. I'm talking about the donators too. Get some help, son. So money don't mean nothing, man. And that's why this whole morality stuff, it's all about who you are at night, who you sleep with. You sleep with yourself. And if you got all these OnlyFans subscriptions, I'm finding it difficult to think that you sleep well at night. So, hey man, I'm not grandstanding. I don't watch plenty of free sites. Emphasis on free, sir. Hey, I didn't hit some scandalous females too, man. Didn't pay for it. It was free. So the whole thing is like, hey man, get some game about yourself. Yeah. Live life free, man, and stop going out here and encouraging the next wave of thoughts, because this is like those things in a movie when you cut one thing in half and then grew two legs and it's multiplying. Yes. You hit it and it, so these things is going to keep going the more you give them money. Because ask Lunel, god damn it.
Yeah, it is. It's like an extremist cell. I don't want to use the T word, but it's like an extremist cell. You take one out, two more pop up in its place.
That's right.
It really is, man. So, every now and again, I feel like we have our customary OnlyFans rant on the Conscious Approach channel.
I'll get off my soapbox.
I'll get off it. Needless to say, we hate it. So, y'all dudes out there need to get some wits about you, man. Get some help. Take that money that you spend on OnlyFans, go and get you a fresh outfit, go get your hair cut, get some male grooming on, you know what I'm saying, manscape, and hit the bar, man. Hit the bar, hit wherever you want to hit, wherever you feel most comfortable interacting with women. There's women who will give you that for, not free in the sense that you're not directly paying for it in that way.
Right,
you still want to throw some bucks. But more so than that, there's respect and dignity that's going to come along with that. And that's worth more than sitting in front of your laptop or your tablet, grinding your soul away and giving money to these soulless broads.
And grinding your foreskin too.
Yeah. Y'all need to put this stuff down and just man up.
Get some reps, bro. Get some reps out there.
Yeah.
Go take some losses. Let a girl turn you down like 4 or 5 times.
You'll be better off. You'll be better off for it.
Man.
And to Elle, right? And to Elle, Brooke, man, go ahead and you do your thing. Go ahead and buy your Ferrari. Might as well take advantage of these losers.
Yeah, it's like Pop said on Friday, man. You know what I'm saying about fighting, bro. You win some, you lose some, bro. But you live, bro. You live. When you out there with, these OnlyFans subscriptions, that's Craig with the gun. Boy, you cheating the game, bro. Go out there and take some losses. You know what I'm saying? Get them reps in.
You live to fight another day. You live to fight another day. Sad shit, man. Okay, so lastly, we got Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow, young white rapper, is in the news and being called out for cultural appropriation. So Jack Harlow has got songs with Drake, and he was in the new White Men Can't Jump movie. And he's got a lot of things popping, but he's one of these white guys who is, immersed in hip hop culture, and so he's under fire for wearing a bonnet. He was recently at a soccer match, and he had a bonnet on his head, and people are mad, calling him out for appropriating Black culture. So this article, also from Hot New Hip Hop, says Jack Harlow faces backlash after wearing a bonnet. Jack Harlow is coming under fire on social media after rocking a bonnet to a recent Louisville City FC match. Several photos of him doing so have surfaced on social media as he posed for pictures with fans throughout the game. Quote, "If I see a bunch of white kids walking around with bonnets on, Jack Harlow will have to answer for his crimes," end quote. One user on Twitter wrote in response to the outfit. Another remarked, quote, "Jack Harlow fans will not see heaven for what they've done," end quote. One more user on Twitter compared Harlow to Eminem and Justin Timberlake. Quote, "Jack Harlow is an experiment to see how easily it would be for white people to infiltrate, manipulate, and even be praised by the Black community," end quote. They wrote in their tweet, quote, "We let them slide with Justin Timberlake and Eminem, and now we are being punished for our ignorance," end quote. The recent photos came just months after the release of Harlow's latest project. The Louisville native dropped his third studio album, Jack Man, to mixed reviews back in April. In doing so, he worked with several producers, including FNZ, DJ Dahi, Coop the Troop, Boy Wonder, and more. The project included no features and released with minimal prior promotion. So that's that. That's the background here. I want to share this real quick so that y'all can get a better look at what the photos look like. So, there's Jack Harlow there. He's got the black bonnet on with, the oversized pants. I guess the oversized clothes are coming back into style. There's another photo of him wearing it with another fan there. And there you go. So there's Jack Harlow. And, people are mad. They're saying that he's appropriating black culture because he had this bonnet on. Why something like a bonnet has to be held so tightly for black folks is perhaps the greater conversation. But what do you think about Jack Harlow getting called out? Do you think he's appropriating black culture by wearing his bonnet out there?
Well, I mean, that's what I was going to touch on, bro. What you were saying, like, how is bonnets? How's that black culture? So, I mean, I don't understand. So for an entire group of people to be upset that he's actually, wearing a headscarf. I mean, he's got hair. So bonnets aren't reserved for girls who walk into the store with fuzzy slippers or the airport. I mean, everybody can wear them. So I don't see what the cause for anybody to get bent out of shape about this is about, outside of the tweets that were mentioned there, which I find were actually kind of humorous. But I also saw people, making shorts and other videos basically getting at him and calling him out for appropriating. But bonnets is not black culture. It's just a scarf. What is a white man supposed to do that like black people shit? He can't do it. So I think that I mentioned this before. I think when we're talking about the Eminem thing or something else, but I find it flattering, and because you already know how much hate black people get from all other cultures in the world. So whenever I do see all other cultures in the world emulating things that we do, that's not to me, I find that is a form of praise and a form of flattery, because if you hate everything else that we got going on, but you so much so that you won't even acknowledge it, but then you love something that I do so much so that you want to do it yourself, then yeah, that means that I'm impressive to you. So even though bonnets may seem like they're not very impressive, hey man, somebody that's not in the culture finds it impressive and say, hey man, I want to rock those. I got hair to throw up under there. And quite frankly, these fans know him better, but this is pretty incognito to me. So this guy looks ridiculous. And but he also looks ridiculous without the bonnet on. So I wouldn't have known if Jack Harlow was if I seen him in public, I wouldn't have still known. But this does seem to be incognito. So at least he was trying to hide himself, it looks like. So what about you, bro? You think this is some cultural appropriation, or do you think this is overhyped?
It's overhyped. But the bigger question is, why are bonnets black culture?
I don't know.
That's what and I know the reason why. I'm being facetious. They shouldn't be. Just because a certain segment of us has decided to claim bonnets because it's easier to just throw that on top of your head as opposed to put a comb through it before you go to a grocery store, doesn't mean that should be an aspect of our culture that's synonymous. And that's the problem. And that's the bigger issue here is some of the stuff that we want to claim. So in addition to cornrows and hoop earrings, you can add bonnets to that list. it's ridiculous. At least in the case of hoop earrings and cornrows, those things are actually cute. So, I mean, they're cute hairstyles. So other women recognize things that look good. And if they want to put cornrows through their hair, they are wearing hairstyles that look good. But the greater question is, why is it that your why is it that your cultural signifiers have to be, in the grand scheme of things, various things that don't really mean much in terms of who you are and who your soul and what your soul is, such as cornrow hairstyles and hoop earrings. But here's the thing, Black people. If y'all really care that much about white rappers wearing bonnets, or not even just white rappers, but anybody wearing bonnets who aren't Black, because you are so triggered by the perception of your culture being appropriated, my advice to you is to just fight fire with fire. Fight fire with fire. If you feel like your culture is being appropriated every time a white person wears a bonnet or has cornrows in their hair, in their head, or hoop earrings on, or listens to rap music and doesn't edit the N-word out whenever they're rapping along with the lyrics, if you're touched by that in such a way that you feel as though your culture is being appropriated, even though these things are bartered, packaged, and sold to everybody outside of your community, then just fight fire with fire. Invest in real estate. Learn about STEM applications. Go get a certificate. Go learn to be a mechanical engineer, an electrical engineer. There's been an uptick in Black-owned businesses, but let's increase the uptick. Get Black-owned businesses going. Learn about those small business loans. They're handing them out to you. Nobody is withholding that from you just because you're Black. Invest in some, get some real estate properties. Learn how to be a realtor. Open your own brokerage. Move out to the West Coast. Learn how to program. Get into IT. Learn how to develop code and cybersecurity. You know what I'm saying? Go work for the FBI and the CIA. Learn how to be a hacker and crack codes, and learn how to create drones and all of these various technologies. Go to the Air Force and become an intelligence officer. Work your way up through the military. Appropriate white culture is my point. If you really feel that triggered by it, fight fire with fire. They're appropriating your culture, so how about you appropriate theirs? Appropriate white culture. Become an angel investor. Go and work for a financial institution. Learn how to be a CPA. Do taxes. The list goes on and on. I can go on for days with this stuff. Become a restaurateur. Open up your own restaurant. Be a chef in a 5-star restaurant. Who knows? Do all of these things. Get you a fleet of trucks. Start a freight company and run trucks. Become a freight franchisee for Amazon. Get you a few Amazon trucks so you can do deliveries for Amazon. Become your own check writer. Open your own business. Appropriate white culture. You can do that. No one's stopping you from doing that. So if you really feel that way about your culture being appropriated, I have news for you. It's not going to stop. Okay, we've done an effective job of getting in cahoots with these corporations in the music industry and professional sports leagues who have effectively taken what you think is your culture, packaged it, and sold it as a product to the masses of the world population that is outside of your community. So your culture doesn't belong to you anymore if you truly believe that these things were your culture to begin with, hairstyles and bonnets and whatnot, and music that is owned via the music industry by people who also don't look like you. So if you feel like your culture is being appropriated that hard, that heavily, that significantly, then hey man, bring a gun to a gunfight. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Appropriate white culture. Do these things. Get on Wall Street. Study actuarial science. Learn how to play the stock market. Get into cryptocurrency if you still believe that that's such a thing, which I don't. Learn how to read, stock charts. Those weird charts that they got on Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade or wherever. You can learn how to read those charts, predict how certain stocks are going to behave, buy in, sell high, buy low, all of that stuff. Appropriate white culture. Invest in an app, or better yet, learn how to create one. That chick who created Bumble, some little white girl in college created Bumble. She's a billionaire now. Figure it out. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm sitting here gas bagging on the channel, but you get my general point. Appropriate white culture. Fight fire with fire. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that.
Yeah, and I'll say that when dealing with the word culture, all right, because people, when I was looking at little things to this, people were actually calling him a culture vulture for wearing a bonnet. So when we look at the word culture, which is just thrown around, all right, so it's kind of a thing where it's like people were born and then there was already this thing called rap, hip hop, or whatever. So this statue was already there. They were born, they see a statue there, and we're told that this is culture. And we say, oh, this? Yes. This statue, and the statue represents hip hop or rap. And they say, this is culture. Within culture, we sag our pants. Also within culture, we sell drugs to one another. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And it's like, yeah. So then when other people look at our culture, they look at it and go, oh, wow, that's interesting. You know, what's all the other stuff going on around that statue? You know, and they see all the other things that we've contributed to society outside of that one statue. But everybody looks at what we bring to the table as far as style, fashion, music, sports, you know, entertainment. And we look at that as what our culture is, not knowing that there's a whole big scenery out there outside of that the rest of the world can see and know about our own culture. But we looking at this one goofy statue and praising that all day long. So when we get appropriated over there, we don't say nothing because we don't see it. When we get appropriated over there, we don't say nothing because we don't see it. We fixated on this statue with style and stuff. So when Jack Harlow wears a bonnet, you know, they calling him a cultural appropriator there. But not knowing that there's probably other things that he's probably culturally appropriating, you know. But needless to say, if you don't know your history, then you're going to praise this whatever. And much like you sticking with the analogy, hip hop and all this stuff is a religion. People blindly follow this stuff and don't even ask questions. And they say, whatever culture says, we're going to do it. And so one thing culture says is to holler at people who admire what you're doing. Hey, man, this is flattery. Take the compliment and roll. You know, and as you mentioned, bro, there's bigger things out there. There's bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
There's bigger fish to fry instead of worrying about the very next thing somebody from another culture ends up doing that's ours. But Black culture, if we want to even call it that thing, all right, we're going to have to look at culture before colonization. And how did that look? Because that's your culture. The culture you had before it was stripped from you is your culture. People created hip hop after they were stripped of their culture. So they made an abomination of a culture. Even though it started off with the right intent, it was still constructed when it was being, you know, it was being constructed while being manipulated.
Right. And it's still
by the same colonial system.
Yes. And even though it started with the right intentions, it's still been bastardized.
Absolutely.
So what difference does it make?
Because it was created within a colonial system outside of our original culture. But once you start getting, you know, labels involved, interest and all these other things, and prison industrial complex involved, oh yes. Once you get all of these things involved, then it's a thing where, yeah, you created something under noble causes, but there's a culture outside of that that controls your culture. Our culture existed before we got into this whole mess. So if there's something that you do want to holler appropriation about other things. I won't name them, but do some research about what African people in general, whether they're from Africa, whether they're, indigenous people here, everybody got stuff to say. So what was culture like before traffic lights and skyscrapers? What were you doing before cotton gin and slave ships? That's who you are. That is your culture. Everything else after that is a bastardized form of it. And so with all of that stuff, man, comes with communal ways of being, and there's all kinds of stuff that's culture, and there's all types of things that's not ours. And we are one of the biggest culture appropriators out there. So much so that it works to our own demise. So instead of hollering at other people, there needs to be a mirror reflected to see how much we're appropriating another man's culture. Maybe then we'll get out of the prisons. Maybe then we'll stop making these dumbass songs. And maybe then, all those statistics that are unsavory that none of us like can go in a direction that we all like and care about. So, I'll get off my soapbox about this, but please, a white man in a bonnet is not a threat towards you, community. What's a threat towards you, all right, is I won't name that either. But I'll just say that, hey man, just wake up, smell the coffee, and learn about your real culture, not the Pepsi Cola version that's been sold to you over the last 30 years.
Yeah, get off Jack Harlow's back. The man's wearing a bonnet. You should not be thinking of a bonnet as an aspect of your culture. That's the root of the issue. Bonnets should not be synonymous with your culture. That's ridiculous. No. Get off these people's back. Get off. Let them wear the cornrows. Put bonnets on their head, because that's something that's been assigned to you. It isn't something that's originally your culture. So yeah, that's very succinct. That's pretty much. I just kind of feel like if you really feel that way about this dynamic that you call appropriation, then just, give them a dose of their own medicine. If you really want to die on that hill like that, give them a dose of your own medicine, because they'll really hate that. Trust me. If as much as you hate seeing Jack Harlow wearing a bonnet, trust me, they'll really hate seeing you open your own venture capital firm. If you're really about that culture appropriation life. So get off that guy's back. Get off his back. Let him wear that damn bonnet. Leave that man alone. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing about Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow loves some of y'all more than y'all love yourselves too. So, take that for what it's worth.
Well said.
What's going on with this appropriation stuff, man? Get out of here, man. Golly. But on that note, we're gonna go ahead and close it out, man. Another good episode of the Conscious Approach channel in the books. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. My name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. Catch us on the Instagram page at Con Approach, CONAPPROACH. The website is consciousapproach.com. And even though right now Meta is giving me hell, I don't know what's going on with Meta. You can also find the videos on the Meta page. Just search Conscious Approach as they become available, because for whatever reason, I'm having an issue with that stupid app and actually uploading these videos. I don't know what's going on. Mark Zuckerberg can kiss my ass. Hit that like button, man. Hit that subscribe button. If you happen to catch wind of this video via stream, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you catch any of our video uploads, hit the subscribe button there, man. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about these videos. We certainly appreciate kicking this game and supporting that logical content. You can also find me on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS, and be on the lookout for Conscious Approach on your Spotify platform providers, wherever you get that stuff. So that stuff is on the way. We certainly appreciate it. Another video in the books. Thank you for supporting this logical content, and we'll catch you on the next video.
Yes, sir. And the name is Dogon SS, and you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS or on YouTube at Dogon SS. Also on YouTube at Hurricane Dogon. Goddamn. All right. And as I say on every pod, guys, all right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. All right. And don't let nobody get you off your pivot. All right. So including OnlyFans models and tricks and scallywags. So until the next time, guys, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Skr, skr.
Oh, fellas, put the OnlyFans down. Put it down. Oh, and man, congratulations to the Heat, man. Hard fought battle.
Yeah,
5-game series. Finals is over. It's all good, though. We still got there perennially going late in the postseason, so real happy about that. And I don't hate the Nuggets, so I was happy to see that they got one. At least it wasn't LeBron. So,
or Steph, right?
Go Heat. Looking forward to next season. On that note, man, we'll see you next time. Appreciate you for tuning in. We out of there.
Yay.
Peace.
Peace. Go Canes. It's football season next time. Go Canes. Go Canes. Yeah.